Coming to you from deep inside the bowels of a great big empty. Get ready for another episode of The Home Defense Show with Skip Coryell.
And that was Golden Glenn, the official announcer of the Home Defense Show, and I'm your host, Skip Coryell, author of 22 books, Marine Corps veteran, founder of the Second Amendment March, proud father of 7, grandfather to 20 and counting, and as a special bonus, I'm also madly in love with my own wife. My priorities in life are God, family, and country in that order, and I hereby promise to never compromise in my convictions. I may go broke, but I'll never go woke.
But before we get too far into the show today, let's thank our sponsors, United States Concealed Carry Association, ShootingClasses.com, Centershot Indoor Gun Range, and Trinity Training and Security.
And joining me today, as you just heard her, my endearing wife, gorgeous, wonderful, fantastic, great personality.
Who are you talking about?
Sara Coryell. Sara, thank you for joining me.
Thank you for having me.
All right. Well, we have a good show today. Today is all about Second Amendment news, and of course that affects every gun owner. We've chosen a couple of articles to read and comment on. So this is review and comment on Second Amendment news today. So we've got good news and we've got bad news. What do you want to go with first?
Well, I want to end on the good news, so
end on the good news.
Start on the bad
that
news.
Means we have to start with the bad news.
Unless we just not look at the bad news, but I feel like that gets us into trouble. So
okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, why don't you go ahead, start reading the article, and I will review and comment as you go along, okay?
Okay. Blue state governors join gun-grabbing efforts by targeting Glock pistols. In rapid succession, 3 blue states have followed California's lead and moved to ban some of the most commonly owned handguns nationwide. Within the span of a single week, governors in Maryland, Connecticut, and New York signed sweeping measures targeting Glock pistols and similar firearms. Until now, only California had enacted such a categorical prohibition. The speed and similarity of these actions should alarm every law-abiding gun owner in the country.
I don't like any of those states. It's like swearing when I say New York, Maryland, Connecticut, California. They're like cuss words to me. I don't like them.
I'm sorry. I'm sure there's good people and
you are so funny. It's like always looking for the good. Always, well, even in New York.
It's an entire state.
That reminds me of that phrase in the Bible, can anything good come from Nazareth? It's like I'm thinking, can anything good come from New York or California, Maryland, Connecticut?
Well, we have some very dear friends who are moving to New York, so there'll be something good in New York,
well,
at least for a year or two.
We'll see if they can make a difference. All right, but I love Glock, so
okay.
Read on.
All right. In Maryland, the statute defines the term machine gun convertible pistol to effectively ban most Glock and Glock-style handguns on the market. Firearms owned by millions of Americans for lawful purposes. Connecticut's law follows the same playbook. It bans the future manufacture, sale, and importation of a wide range of commonly owned handguns, while layering new restrictions on unfinished frames and receivers. New York has even gone further, making it a Class D felony to sell or transfer what it calls a convertible pistol.
All right, let's go ahead. Let's break this down a little bit. What do they mean by a convertible pistol? They're not talking about a car without a roof.
No.
Do you understand what they're talking about there, Sarah?
I assume that means it can go from single fire when you pull the trigger to
machine gun
kind of fire.
Yeah, but it's not something, there's not like a selector switch on there.
No.
It's basically you have to tear the gun apart,
and
you have to
right?
buy parts, and you have to modify it to become fully auto. So if any gun is capable of having that change made to it, they're outlawing that gun. Not based on what it is, but based on what it can be if you break the law and change it.
Okay, that's crazy because I'm just to put it into perspective.
Okay.
My cell phone requires a battery change every now and again. I have to bring in my crazy smart son to do this battery change, and he has to do research and all kinds of get special tools and everything to do what should be a normal thing on my cell phone.
Yeah.
This is not a normal change to make to
No,
a gun.
it's not.
It's going to require all kinds of special parts. Your average, Jane and Joe are not going to have a clue how to do this.
I can confirm to you that your husband doesn't know how to do this, okay? I mean, I can clean my gun, but hey, when it's busted, I take it to the gunsmith. And most guys are like that. Some guys are handy. They could do this, but not
with your gun. You don't really want to mess around with it. You kind of want it to work when you pull the trigger and
yeah. I love to shoot guns. I don't like to
debug
gunsmith them.
Yeah. Okay, so that's really over the top. And also, I would okay, so maybe I'm making it a bigger deal than it is, but if it's convertible, like if you're going to leave it to what anything could be, couldn't almost any gun be like reformed into
I think
that?
Yeah. Maybe this is like a toe hold, a foot in the door that they're getting.
Yeah, like they're adding new words to say something.
It's easier to do this, or less difficult to do this with the Glock than it is with other handguns, and that's why they're like taking the low-hanging fruit, you see.
Right. Well, and lots of people have them. Apparently, it's the most common.
Yeah, Glock is very popular.
The NRA has already filed suit in Maryland, atop our prior suit against California last October, and we are considering challenges in other jurisdictions. These measures have less to do with public safety than with implementing a broader strategy of restricting access to commonly owned firearms. These laws are being promoted to the public as targeting do-it-yourself machine guns. The branding, like the justification for these laws, collapses under even minimal scrutiny. Converting a semi-automatic firearm into a fully automatic firearm is already a serious federal offense, punishable by up to 10 years in prison, and a federal law prohibits the manufacture, sale, and possession of the conversion devices used to make that modification. On top of that, more than half the states in the country have already outlawed the conversion devices themselves. But rather than call for stronger enforcement of existing laws, activists instead have shifted the focus away from criminals squarely onto law-abiding citizens. Glock bans won't end criminal creativity, but they will begin to move the needle on the gun control extremists' long-desired goal to ban all handguns.
Yeah, Sarah, I got to stop you there.
Sure.
Because this reminds me of a story, a true story that I heard several years back. Mm-hmm. And basically what happened is a man was at a gun range. He had his AR-15. The AR-15 malfunctioned.
Okay.
And 4 or 5 rounds went off.
At a time?
Yeah, one right after the other.
Oh, okay? That's not good.
And I believe this was under Joe Biden. And the ATF ended up charging him
with owning
with a felony for possessing a machine gun, even though he didn't even know that it was going to do that. It was just a malfunction.
That's horrible.
And that does happen to people sometimes.
Wow.
Yeah. So, yeah, that's another one of the horror stories.
Terribly.
Another good reason why we don't need the ATF.
Wow. Courts have repeatedly rejected broad handgun bans, so gun control activists are trying a different route. Redefine these common firearms as do-it-yourself machine guns and ban them as a safety risk. But the guns being banned aren't exotic or unusual. They are being targeted because they are the most popular handguns in America, widely used for personal protection, law enforcement, and recreational shooting. Their consistent design and affordability have made them accessible to first-time gun owners and valued by experienced shooters.
I have fired a Glock machine pistol before. It was owned by a police officer, so it was legally owned, and I fired it legally. But I can tell you, they're almost worthless. They really are.
How do you mean?
Well, there's so much muzzle flip on those.
Oh, you couldn't control it.
You cannot control it. I mean, it's not like a rifle or a carbine where it's tucked into your shoulder and you're holding onto it with 2 hands and it's out in front of you. Even a fully automatic rifle is hard to control. Okay. But you put it on a pistol and it's like, man, it's like spraying and praying, hoping and smoking because, the muzzle just rises up, a foot or two and you're spraying, bullets into the air. And, even with a 30-round magazine, one trigger press and you're pretty much out of ammo and you haven't hit anything. So you know,
So it's not a good idea anyway.
it's not a good idea anyways.
So if they leave it alone, people aren't going to go that way.
Well, it's a
anyhow.
novelty more than anything else.
Well, it sounds like it's almost illegal to make it anyhow.
Well, it is
something
illegal.
very
It's against
tight.
federal law, punishable by 10 years to convert
Well, I'm not gonna mess
something,
with that.
unless you have, the permit that you need from the federal government to own a fully automatic firearm. Then yeah, it's punishable by up to 10 years in prison.
Wow.
So.
Okay.
Yeah, this is just one more way. And basically what's happening, Sarah, is when the Supreme Court ruled in favor of the Second Amendment in the Bruin case, that's Bruen case, that the firearms world upside down, okay? Because, some of New York's major anti-gun laws were struck down. And so now all of these blue states are scrambling to try to get around that Bruin case. And so, but I don't think it's going to work for them. But this is something that we do need to watch. So that's the bad news. There must be some good news
There
somewhere.
was. That was the idea. You ready for the good news?
I'm ready. Lay it
All
on
right.
me.
Got your seatbelts on? Okay.
Yeah.
The Supreme Court strikes down blue states' vampire rule in major win for gun rights. The U.S. Supreme Court ruled against Hawaii on Thursday, handing concealed carry permit holders a major victory in a 6-3 decision. The Supreme Court sided with the plaintiff in Walford v. Lopez, who contested Hawaii's state law requiring a property owner's explicit permission to allow lawful gun owners to bring firearms into public businesses. Hawaii's law at issue here violates the constitutional right to keep and bear arms, Justice Samuel Alito wrote. This regime hobbles what the Second Amendment protects, the right of Americans to carry arms for self-defense as they go about their daily lives. The ruling reverses a decision by the U.S. Supreme Court of Appeals for the Ninth Circuit, which had upheld Hawaii's restrictions after the state enacted them in response to the Supreme Court's 2022 Bruin decision. After Bruin struck down New York's proper cause licensing requirements and held that Americans have a constitutional right to carry handguns outside the home for self-defense, Hawaii overhauled its firearms laws. Among the new provisions was a requirement that concealed carry permit holders could not bring firearms onto another person's private property, including businesses open to the public, unless the owner provided express authorization through signage or verbal or written permission. In Second Amendment advocacy circles, the law became known as the vampire rule.
Yeah, that's just terrible. I mean, what they're doing is they're trying to pit property rights against gun ownership rights, and carry rights. And can you imagine what that would be like?
How you would live that out?
Yeah, I mean, let's say if we did that in Michigan, you can't carry anywhere
Unless you get permission from
unless you get permission first from the owner of the store, the supermarket, the gas station.
So if you want to go to Walmart and carry your gun,
Yeah.
who owns it? You have to go all the way to the top? Or the manager?
I
or
don't
the guy
know.
who happens to be in charge that night?
Yeah, well, this is well thought out on their part. If they can, if they had succeeded in this, basically, you couldn't carry anywhere off your own property in Hawaii.
Yeah, it's not really carrying, is it?
No, that's not freedom.
Alito wrote that the law could subject lawful concealed carry permit holders to a criminal liability while going about routine daily activities, such as stopping at a gas station, pharmacy, or grocery store. He illustrated the concern through a hypothetical based on Jamie Cateno, a woman who sought to carry a weapon after threats from an abusive former partner, imagining her running ordinary errands while lawfully carrying a firearm for self-defense. Quote, unless each of these establishments has posted a sign saying, guns welcome, or something to that effect, each visit could expose her to criminal liability, close quote, Alito wrote. The court rejected Hawaii's argument that its unique culture and history justified stricter gun laws. The state had relied, in part, on what its courts called the spirit of aloha to defend the regulations.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Spirit of aloha?
Yeah.
What does that mean?
What does aloha mean? Isn't that like
Family?
hello, how are you in Hawaiian or something like that?
It might be family, but I think I'm getting
Maybe
that
it
from
means
a cartoon.
aloha. Check your weapons at the door.
Yeah.
Well, if this was like a test case for them, if they'd gotten away with this, and they were doing this because they were forced to allow concealed carry because of the Second Amendment and through court proceedings.
Well, they're
court
part of America,
rulings.
right?
Pardon me?
They are part of America, right?
Yes, they are part of.
Just checking.
Still, they are still
I
part
realize
of
they're
America.
they've got an island all to themselves.
They're
but,
an island just off the coast of
Alaska doesn't have any trouble
California.
understanding this, though. Of course, they do have large bears running around up there. It might change the thing a little bit.
Well, I guess I would say to Hawaii, nice try, but it didn't work, thankfully.
Thankfully, yeah.
Well, it was a 6-3 decision, so all of the conservative justices ruled, against Hawaii on this one, and only the crazy blue state justices ruled for it.
That's a pretty good majority there.
Well, even with a 6-3 conservative majority, we still don't always rule on the side of freedom. Because I don't know, I do not understand the Supreme Court, but they got it right this time, and I'm grateful for that.
Yeah.
If they'd gotten this one wrong, we would all be in trouble, because this one is pretty cut and dried. Because Michigan has been trying, our state legislature and the governor have been trying to pass a law that would make this very same thing happen here in Michigan. Okay.
Wow.
Except they were just going to ban all of those places, put them on the gun-free list, like any establishment that sold alcohol of like any kind. What would that ban?
Any grocery store.
Any grocery store, any gas station.
Right.
It's not like a bar where they sell alcohol for consumption on the premises. It's like any place they sell beer or wine or anything like that.
You don't really wander around in the Walmart drinking the beer that you haven't bought yet. I mean, that would be crazy
Well,
behavior.
if you did, I would look at you differently, honey.
Well, I think that would be justifiable.
Well, both of these articles, this is the reason we have to stay politically active, because this is the kind of crazy stuff that's happening all over the country. And they're going to try and do this in our own state as well. They have been trying. They've just been failing so far.
Well,
So, man, these midterm elections coming up in every state, it's a big deal. It really is. It decides who the governor is and who controls the legislature. Here in Michigan, folks, you got to get out there and you've got to campaign. You've got to do the research. You have to vote for the right person, because they really are after our gun rights. So you got to pay attention.
Question. The last midterm elections, it seemed like there was a whole bunch of liberal rules that got passed because people weren't very interested in going. So I'm trying to remember.
Here in Michigan, yeah, there was a package of 3 gun laws that were passed. That was while the Democrats had control of the House of Representatives, the state Senate, and the governorship. But in the last midterm election, they lost control of the House of Representatives.
Oh.
So the Republicans have stopped them effectively for the last 2 years.
Okay.
But that could flip back
So easy.
this fall. We need a new
yeah.
governor and a new state Senate. So let's see if we can make that happen. All right. Well, I think that's all we have for today, Sarah. Why don't you wrap us up here, okay?
Okay. All right, everybody. That about wraps it up for this week's show. We've had a great time and hope you have too. Please don't forget to thank our sponsors, Centershot Indoor Gun Range at centershotgunrange.com, shootingclasses.com to help you find the right trainer for your needs, and the United States Concealed Carry Association. For all your self-defense needs, go to uscca.com.
Okay. I've written 20+ books. Actually, I've written 24 books, but we'll talk more about that later. I have 2 books that I just finished writing that are not yet published. And they're all available on Amazon.com in paperback, ebook, and audiobook. This week, check out my book, Concealed Carry for Christians. I think you'll like it. And if you want training from me in person, then check out Midwest Tactical Training at shootingclasses.com. Please join us again next week for all your home defense needs. In the meantime, God bless and stay safe.
Thank you for joining us this week on The Home Defense Show. Now, get out there and protect the ones you love. We'll see you next week with more of the best.
Bye-bye, boys!
Have fun storming the castle!
Firearms training should be easy. Instructors can focus on teaching and not worry about all the complex paperwork and management behind the scenes. Just pull the trigger and let us do the administrative work. Welcome to shootingclasses.com.
At Center Shot Gun Range, we are passionate about training. Don't know where to start? We offer a 1-hour new shooter seminar to introduce you to the world of firearms and help you find training opportunities specific to you. Concealed carry, home defense, firearm safety, AR-15, private one-on-one training, custom training, or maybe you're on a security team looking to protect your church or business. We even offer weekday morning and evening classes. Center Shot Gun Range has you covered. Start your journey at centershotgunrange.com.
Hey there. Yeah, you. It's time to level up your skills. Check out shootingclasses.com and explore a wide range of training options. With more than 50 types of classes to choose from, beginner to advanced, concealed carry to medical training, online sessions, and even non-live fire courses, there's something for everyone. Just enter your zip code, use the filters to narrow your search, and find the perfect class for you. This site has all the details: instructor bios, class info, requirements, available dates, and the option to register, all in one place. It's that simple at shootingclasses.com.
In today's world, safety and preparedness are more important than ever. At Trinity Training and Security, we offer comprehensive training for your peace of mind. Whether you're obtaining your concealed pistol license, mastering CPR and first aid, or engaging in scenario-based training, we've got you covered. We look forward to working with you in one of our classes or bringing the class to your church, school, or business. Need security for an event? Protecting your assets? Our team provides private security, close protection, media crew escorts, high security terminations, and more. Always with discretion and professionalism. With Trinity, safety is more than a service. It's a commitment.
Avoid danger, save lives, and keep your loved ones safe. If this sounds good to you, you sound good to me. And I'd like to help you do those things. Avoid danger, save lives, and keep your loved ones safe. If you're looking for more excitement in your life, we have nothing to offer you. But if you are a thoughtful, responsible, nonviolent man or woman, we'd love to teach you what to do if something crazy happens. More importantly, we'd like to teach you what not to do. We currently have over 500,000 members. They are doctors and single moms and firemen and grandmothers and veterans and Democrats and Republicans and members of every faith. But the one thing they all have in common is that they know exactly what to do if something crazy happens. When you're with one of our members, you are safe. Our members know how to de-escalate situations. They know how to calm things down. We are the United States Concealed Carry Association. See what we're all about at usconcealedcarry.com.
Discover the little-known backstory of the U.S. Concealed Carry Association at usconcealedcarry.com.